Seasoned Kanye fans should be no stranger to lengthy periods of non-communication, but I gotta say, the ghost mode stings just a little bit harder when it's accompanied by Ye doing the most random and ridiculous side quests instead of working on music.
I love leaking!
So if you remember from my video yesterday morning, I spoke about 3 new pages that had been added to Yeezy.com, and throughout the day after I uploaded that video, we ended up getting quite a bit more information about the situation. So first we found out there was actually a 4th page added for content alongside food, shelter, and sound that was discovered after the initial 3. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, both the food and shelter pages display their respective subjects then in progress, while the sound and content pages are simply blank with no text or images to be found. Some clever members of Yeezy Cord were able to dig a bit further into the web code of these new pages, discovering exactly when they had been added to the overall Yeezy.com web entity. The content, food, and shelter pages were all added on May 17th, while the sound page was added on May 19th. And interestingly enough, the content page actually contains HTML code for a time placeholder and a locked data section. This basically means the content page is intended to, at some point in the future, host a timer which will unlock some sort of content like a video or stream once that timer is up. Now that that's out of the way, let's go through each page and sort of break down what might be happening here. Yeezy Food saw its official hard launch on June 24th, 2023 in Tokyo, with a tasting event featuring various meats like fish, beef, and chicken, along with other random items like cinnamon milk, pickles, carrots, and cucumbers. In classic Ye fashion, nobody was provided cutlery, and everyone was encouraged to eat with their hands, which is something we've seen past Donda Academy lawsuits mention as occurring on the school grounds. Supposedly, this tasting event was 4 years in the making, which is a bit confusing because there was literally nothing unique besides the food being cut into nice little portions. A few days prior to this, on June 10th, Kanye hosted his 46th birthday party where I believe he did sort of a soft launch for Yeezy Food with the items displayed on nude models, which sparked all sorts of controversy. But disregarding the presentation, I gotta say I'm not too impressed with Yeezy Food so far. We don't yet know what he intends to do in the future with this new Yeezy.com page, but I'm hoping it's something genuinely cool and not what we saw in Tokyo. Kanye has had a very long history with housing development, first dipping his toes into things back in 2018 when he started working on the affordable domes, which ultimately fell by the wayside as the Yandi concept was shelved and reworked. Moving into 2019 and 2020, Kanye began fixating on architectural designer James Turrell, becoming obsessed with his style and vision, even going so far as to film parts of the Jesus is King documentary at the Rodin Crater in Arizona. Throughout 2020, Kanye would continue to brainstorm housing and community ideas, often taking inspiration from Turrell's designs, but most of his shelter concepts did not make it past the sketchbook. Most recently, Kanye mentioned buying lots of land with the intent of rebuilding housing to fit the way humans are supposed to exist while on the Justin LeBoy podcast.
It's fuck everything. I bought the land so I could rebuild the way we supposed to exist. Our city should look more like ant colonies. It should be like, and then run the video of the ant colony. That's the design. The design's right there in front of us. But all this other stuff has been designed by industries and markets to make things more complicated.
The anthill model video does suspiciously look somewhat James Turrell related, so perhaps Yeezy Shelter in 2024 will see Kanye actually building his own anthill community. As for content and sound, those are a bit more difficult to decipher right now. We know Kanye just recently decided to go back to working on Yeezy porn, so it's possible that is what will be hosted on the content page. And then of course the logical conclusion is that music would be moved to the sound page. Or it's possible the content page has nothing to do with Yeezy porn and will end up being the new home for things like the download interview and the alternate talking music video directed by North, which is currently sitting at the bottom of Yeezy.com alongside the Like That remix and Vulture's One product listing. I mentioned this in my video yesterday, but now that we know the Yeezy app is dead in the water, Kanye's only options are dropping on streaming or on Yeezy.com, likely on that sound page, which is what I think he will ultimately do. He's already selling Vulture's One on the website, so honestly right now I would say the odds are like 20% he drops Vulture's 2 on streaming and 80% he drops it on Yeezy.com, with the big question being the price tag. We know he's super obsessed with the everything is $20, and he's even selling Vulture's One right now for $20, so I think if Vulture's 2 ends up being sold in a similar way, you can almost guarantee that shit will be $20 as well. In other news, we finally got some signs of life from Kanye with footage and images of him leaving the Yeezy headquarters on Melrose in Los Angeles. I'm guessing this is probably the first time since the big Yeezy staff shakeup that he's made the effort to get back in the HQ, which I'd imagine is now looking pretty empty and sad considering all the employees are gone. This is purely copium on my part, but it's totally possible that with the new content and sound pages being loaded onto the Yeezy.com backend, that he's preparing for perhaps another private Vulture's 2 LP to be held at the HQ, mimicking what was done in early March. Again, that is the purest of pure copium, but I do think it's significant that he's being spotted back at the HQ after having not visited there in quite some time. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and let me know down in the comments if you think Vulture's 2 will be dropping on the Yeezy sound page for $20 just like Vulture's One.